Gentlemen, today Lieutenant Lynx will take 3 Thunderbolts to attack German infantry near Zulpich. Weather is low overcast with rain and possible ground covering fog. Good luck. Welcome back aboard.
Cleared for takeoff.
Taking off.
Welcome back aboard my P-47 Thunderbolt for the 5th mission of this career. I'm in charge today, so I don't have to hurry to get the aircraft configured for takeoff so much. So I can make sure I've done everything correctly. Mixture, auto-rich, prop full forward, intercooler, neutral, cowl flaps are open. Don't need boost on takeoff today. We should be good to go, unless I've forgotten something. So, set takeoff power and off we go. Plenty of speed, up we go. The airplane should be relatively light and frisky today. We're only carrying 60% fuel and only rockets. No bombs today, so less weight, less drag. Should save some fuel on the way to and from the target. Speaking of which, now that I'm in the air, set heading point, going to be the edge of the forest. Initial heading will be... Oh boy, don't be in the map screen for that long. Okay, let's set maximum continuous power and then I'll worry about navigation. Aviate, navigate, communicate. Okay, so heading will be 126 once we cross over the edge of the forest, which we're doing basically now. I'll climb probably just underneath the cloud layer. We don't need to worry about crossing the front line on the way to some distant-ish target this time, because we're attacking a target that's directly on the front line, so I'll fly high enough for good navigation, and that's probably about all that we need to do. So, about 126. My other 2 Thunderbolts should be getting formed up. There's one. I'm sure the other one's back there somewhere. Okay, now that we're pretty much established, as I mentioned, yeah, target's right on the front line today, so near Zulpich, southwest of the town, I guess. Should be pretty easy to pick out from the forests in the area, and we'll just have to see what it looks like when we get there.
This is Flight Bison in combat sector. Over.
And Bison, that should be our fighter escort if memory serves. And I think I'll level off at 3,000 feet. Good do. Good navigational checkpoints, probably a beam these 2 cities, and then Aachen. I don't think we're going to get lost on the way to this target, so shouldn't be too difficult. Anyway, coming up on 3,000. Level off slightly early. Alright. 3,000. And I'll come back to a medium cruise setting, 32 inches manifold pressure or thereabouts, 2250 RPM, which is about 65% on both throttle and prop. And at that point we can use auto lean on the mixture, save a little fuel. And both of my other 2 Thunderbolts have formed up. Let's look out of the window and see what we got. I can see these lakes over here and the town next to them. Anything off our right? Just Maastricht, a pretty long way off, and we can't really see that in the bad visibility, but I'm reasonably confident that we are more or less on track, so we'll make our way to the target. Welcome back. So we're just passing over these lakes here, which marks our ingress point to the target. I'm going to ignore this dog leg and just head straight there. We have aircraft passing on our right. Those look like B-26s. So, friendlies, no factor.
Ruffman, rejoin formation and continue with the mission. Out.
And I can see tracers flying around down there. I'd say there's a pretty good bet that that's where our target is. It's German troop positions, sort of between two little forest clumps is what we're looking for.
Ruffman, rejoin formation and continue with the mission. Out.
Yeah, that looks reasonably convincing to me.
Chieftain, patrol for ground targets on your own.
But because we are quite close to friendly forces, I will be double checking to avoid any fratricide situations. We're going to push it up to maximum continuous power. Track IR is being a bit tweaky on me at the moment. Yeah, we've got this. Well, yeah, I'm reasonably certain that's the enemy. I mean, they're shooting westward. What more do you want? Well, that forest clump doesn't look quite right, but it's also possible that they're not represented perfectly on the map. And those friendlies just made an attack run on them, so I think that's proof enough for me. We've got vehicles down here. Those would appear to be priority targets. So, in we go. Yeah, those are tanks. Definitely German tanks. Well, I'll see what I can do to them.
Chieftain, 2, target destroyed.
I think I might have even hit that one. Alright. Well, for tanks, I think it's best to attack them from the side. Okay, flight leader orders. Attack nearest ground targets. Louts!
Friendly ground targets. Free to engage. Out. Chieftain, rejoin formation and continue with the mission. Out.
I'm gonna go after those tanks again with my rockets. They would seem to be priority targets for those. Okay, that one is still moving, so we'll assume it's operational. Oh, I got nudged by turbulence at the last second there. So that one definitely missed. I'll make a final rocket run and see if I can destroy that tank, because that's going to be the main component of the enemy's combat power that's in play here. It's interesting that even though we're not in radio contact with friendly ground forces, we're doing something very akin to modern concept of close air support here. Okay, I'm not sure I have the best angle here. That tank's gone into the trees. Alright, well, I'm not going to be able to hit it until it comes out, so I'm going to strafe this infantry down here. Alright, tank is re-emerging from the tree line. I'll hit that next. None of the rest of my flight seem to be attacking, even though I ordered them to. Roll for ground targets. See what that does. Now, if I can't take out this tank with my rockets on this run, I may strafe it with the guns. I'm never going to destroy it that way, but I might be able to knock the track off of it. Not sure if that hit or not. Okay, that's a Jagdpanzer 4 that's still up. Well, I'll see if I can track it, like I said. It's probably the most damage I'm realistically going to be able to do with 50 caliber machine gun fire.
Engaging firing point to the north. Range about 1 mile. Out.
Alright, I'll see if that Panzer 4 that I fired the rockets at has stopped. It's possible I might have killed it in that case. Okay, we have some turbulence down low today. That Jagdpanzer just took a hit. And, yeah, that Panzer 4 is burning, so I definitely got that one. Cool. I mean, the idea of World War II fighter bombers being great tank killers is a little bit of a myth, so I'm rather glad that I actually managed to do it. Let's see. Very quickly check T's and P's. Everything looks good for now. That Jagdpanzer is still on the move, so I'm going to consider that a priority target. Getting nudged around by the wind quite a bit here. I don't think I'm going to be able to fatally harm that. So I'll go for that German infantry next. And I'll just fly right down the length of their line formation there to enfilade them, to use ground combat terms. And that should do a very nice job. Okay, now my Thunderbolts are getting into the action. Good job, guys. Assuming they're mine. I think so. I see checker tails. Red noses. Okay. Hose down the German infantry. Ooh, took a hit from something there. They finally decided to shoot at the thing that is by far the most threatening to them. That would make sense. I can drop my rocket tubes. Get a little extra performance. Crank it back around. And still some German infantry walking. Well, you asked for it. Whee. Smoke coming out of the Jagdpanzer, so something has damaged it. Probably not me. Okay, climb just a little bit before I turn back in. In general, when I'm attacking them from the side like this, then, again, to use ground combat terms, to be able to do grazing fire, in the terminology of machine gun theory, is pretty helpful in this case.
Engaging firing point. Range half mile. Out.
Chieftain 3, target destroyed.
I knocked a few of those guys down. This is a really up close and personal form of combat, at least as far as aircraft are concerned. Almost see the faces of the men we're strafing here. Those are all friendly planes, right? They all look vaguely Thunderbolt shaped to me. No obvious flak coming up, although I probably should be a little bit more wary of that than I have been. Now, I saw some infantry behind the Jagdpanzer. Yeah, right over here. Knock them over while we're at it. And that's it for my ammo. Okay, in that case, I will continue to circle overhead while the rest of my guys go in, assuming they're still making runs. So I'm reasonably pleased with the level of damage I've done. I mean, the Germans here seem to be attacking, presumably some kind of sort of local counterattack, which I suspect we have blunted reasonably well. I mean, I see, I don't know, a reduced platoon of infantry still in the field, and they've lost their armored support. And yeah, my guys are still strafing here, so I'm content to circle overhead until they run out of stuff to shoot at. I might even join in for psychological value. Those, like, single rifle shots going up at him? Well, that's points for enthusiasm, I guess.
Chieftain 2, target destroyed.
Yeah, at this point, my guys are just strafing individual German infantrymen down there.
Range about 1 mile. Out.
Chieftain 3, target destroyed.
Well, they're more than welcome. And yeah, you know what? To the degree that there is any defensive fire, it seems to just be small arms fire, but I'll fly across the enemy positions as the other guys make their runs and try and draw some of the heat off them. Hi. Making all manner of rude gestures at the Germans. And yeah, that Jagdpanzer seems to have stopped. I think its engine might be toast. And, yeah, I completely destroyed because it was burning at least one Panzer IV, maybe two. We'll see what the debriefing thinks. More rude gestures at the enemy. It's like 2 guys left and they're still advancing. Yeah, once again, points for enthusiasm, or points for the fact that the SS will probably shoot them if they don't. Anyway, one of my Thunderbolts diving in again, strafing individual infantrymen.
2, target destroyed.
Yeah.
Chieftain 2, engaging firing point. It's close. Out.
Chieftain 3, target destroyed.
Not entirely sure what they mean by firing point. And I'm not sure if these things out to the front here are friendly or not. I suspect they might be, so I'll leave that be. I only see 2 live enemy infantrymen down there. If my other P-47s want to strafe them, I guess they're more than welcome. But I think once those are dealt with, no reason to hang around any longer than that. Once we've mutilated absolutely everything. Oh, he might have just finished a run. And I presume this other Thunderbolt up here is going to roll in at some point. Meanwhile, I will distract the enemy. It's definitely more than just my 3 Thunderbolts here. Okay, okay, there's the Jagdpanzer. And I think it's just this one guy left. Just surrender, Fritz, it's okay. Or is it just him? Is that one dead? Not sure. Either way, the enemy attack appears to have been soundly defeated. So if I see one more attack run, I'll probably call the guys back to formation and we'll go back to base. In he goes.
Out of ammo.
Okay, he's out of ammo anyway. Alright guys, I think we've done our bit. Let's see. I think Do Like Me was sufficient for this.
Follow me. Out.
I think that'll get them to rejoin formation, so.
Chieftain 2, returning to base.
Egress heading is going to be something like 294, but we'll just fly back towards the lake here. I will not fly straight and level, just in case of any frontline flak that may be around. Oh boy, did I ever learn my lesson about that in Mission 2. So, once we're over the lake, we'll be well behind friendly lines, and then we should actually, hopefully, be okay. Proceeding to base. Does that mean he's damaged? I'm not sure. Oh. And Akin says copy. Is he diverting then? Okay, well, as long as he makes it, I guess. On, I think, at least one previous occasion where I told my flight to return to base, they diverted to a different field, so I think there must be some kind of AI logic to them doing that on their own initiative, but anyway. Actually, 3,500 feet is probably high enough. I'll dial back to medium cruise power. Okay, auto lean, level off. Check temperatures and pressures. Everything looks good. Alright. If my other Thunderbolts form up, great. If they seem to want to proceed back to base independently, I guess that's also okay. I'll double check if there are any other orders I can give for that. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. So, we shall return to base. Welcome back. That is Y29, straight off the nose there. I'm just going to cross overhead to join the left downwind. I'm going to, well, I'll look at the windsock, but ultimately I'm going to land in the direction we took off in regardless. Because the AI seems to treat that as the active runway no matter what. And look at that, we have a straight crosswind anyway. Well, this should be fun then. Alright, gonna need to slow down a bit as we join the circuit, I think. Based on the radio traffic that I've overheard, it appears my other two Thunderbolts diverted to Akin. So, and actually possibly one of them to another field, but in any case, it sounds like both of them have landed safely, so not too much to worry about there. Anyway, quick downwind check. Mixture, auto-rich, prop. I'll throw it up to the max continuous setting just so that we're not really over-revving too much, and then throttle quite some way back. And turn base. Speeds come back far enough to put the gear down. I'll set 20 degrees of flap. Or thereabouts, and then do full flap once we roll out onto final. Stay above 150 miles an hour for controllability until we roll out onto final. My landing in the last episode was a little bit slovenly because I was distracted by talking, so I'll see if I can avoid that this time. We'll see. Put my lights on, why not? Okay, now we can let the speed come back. That full flap. Okay, really let that speed come back. Oh boy, that is a very stiff crosswind. I'm having to angle off quite a bit to compensate for that. We'll descend down to the runway, let the speed come back right through 100, probably is acceptable at this point. And this could get a little bit spicy. Ooh, I timed that straightening out pretty well, though. Okay, keep the mains on. Till the speed comes off and the tail wheel settles onto the runway. Minimal braking just to get us slowed down. Nice long runway is something that is nice here at Y29. And we're down. That went pretty well, actually, for a fairly stiff crosswind landing. So, bring the flaps up. I'll vacate right. Oh, don't ground loop at the end. That would be super embarrassing. And with that kind of wind, especially in a tail dragger, says the person who's never flown a real tail dragger, but I'm reliably informed that you have to be very careful taxiing a tail dragger in heavy winds because the wind likes to pick up the tails. Make sure we do our appropriate crosswind controls as we taxi in. And I'll just stop over by these camouflage nets over here somewhere, and that will be it. Alright, slow her down. Just turn around. Which is easy enough to do. Open the lid. Oh, I already turned the lights off. There we go. Shut her down. And there we are, back at base. I guess there are a few bullet holes in the tail. I guess some of those Jerrys with their rifles and machine guns did manage to land a few shots. Doesn't seem to have done any damage to any internal systems, though, so there you go. I mean, I didn't even notice until we got back. That should tell you everything you need to know. Except for, you know, I heard the sound of us taking a hit at one point, I guess. But that's about it. Anyway, we've made it back. As far as I know, my other two Thunderbolts did as well. I'll see you in the debriefing. Okie dokie, welcome to the debriefing. Let's get started. So, combat report. I'm not claiming any air-to-air victories. I don't think anyone encountered any German aircraft today, which, I mean, it's March 1945. That's probably par for the course. Yeah, Luftwaffe is out of pretty much everything, most importantly fuel, so start the debriefing. Okay, so I destroyed a Stug that I may have misidentified as a Panzer IV. I destroyed an actual Panzer IV, which I identified correctly. Destroyed a Jagdpanzer IV. Interesting, it's crediting me with that, even though I only hit it with machine gun fire. I guess I did enough damage to put it out of action. Yeah, Jagdpanzer IV, which I also correctly identified. Killed a bunch of infantry, as did my other two Thunderbolts. No one went down. Well, in this case, having the debriefing be this short is probably a good thing. Not a lot to say about that. Debrief completed. So, yeah, all that being recorded. Regret to inform command that Second Lieutenant Stephen Bell was seriously injured in combat with enemy forces who will be unavailable for some time. I think he was one of mine, so maybe he was wounded over the course of that mission. A golden BB managed to find him in his cockpit. Okay. That being said, yeah, destroyed infantry. We know all about that. Yeah, Stephen Bell's been awarded the Purple Heart, as is fitting. And that's it. So that's our 5th mission completed. I killed 3 tanks, which is really not bad at all. Yeah, not much to say about that. That mission was pretty much an unqualified success, apart from our one guy being wounded. Hopefully he's okay and rejoins the squadron reasonably soon. I will be back with the next mission, which looks like it will be on the 9th of March, 1945, in due time. Toodles.